This is Nishank Besh. I'm the product manager at Fortanix. So let's go through the demo on how the service works. So before we jump into it, let's see what are the requirements for this integration to work. So there are primarily two main requirements. First one is the ServiceNow instance, and that instance should have database encryption as well as customer control switch feature enabled, so you can talk to your account manager at ServiceNow. And then the second requirement is Fortanix DSM SaaS account. It's very easy to spin up account. We are also providing free trials for all the ServiceNow customers, so I will show you in a moment. So what actually happens is basically once you have your ServiceNow instance up and running with CSS feature enabled, you simply sign up for Fortanix DSM SaaS account. And within DSM SaaS account, we have something called Easy Wizard. So we have a kind of an integration install module. You simply just put in some basic details, and then your instance is up and running, and your integration is up and running, and you can start using the keys in Fortanix DSM to encrypt data in ServiceNow. Let me show you the demo now. Let me share my screen. Right. Can you see my screen?
Before as you jump in, just to clarify for most people, is that the keys are always kept inside of Fortanix, and ServiceNow, reaches out through APIs to Fortanix to effectively, use the keys to encrypt the data in ServiceNow. Correct?
That is correct. So ServiceNow reaches Fortanix DSM every 15 minutes, and it takes the key, and it also takes some of the parameters, and it checks whether the key is valid or not, and then your data is still encrypted based on the validity of the key. So all the integration is done through REST APIs. Now let me show you the service. So if you want to spin up, if you want to create an account on Fortanix DSM SaaS, you can simply go to smartkey.io. And as you see, we have the service availability in different regions. We have it in North America, European Union, United Kingdom, Asia Pacific, and also Australia. As Fayaz mentioned, we have lots of overlapping data centers with the ServiceNow data centers. So let me quickly log in. So Fortanix DSM SaaS is a multi-tenant service. That means different companies or different organizations can have accounts within the same service, and each account will have their unique login credentials. For this case, I have access to some of the test accounts, as you can see here. Now, for the demo purpose, we will go to one ServiceNow CCS integration demo account. And as soon as you go inside the account, you can see a highly interactive dashboard. So the dashboard will show what are the security objects you have. So you can have your keys, you can have your certificates, then you can see your applications. We have something called plugins. Basically, these are like running a secure business logic code inside Fortanix DSM platform. We have some groups, we have users, and things like that. So you can see your entire view on the dashboard. Now to set up your ServiceNow integration, it's very easy. You simply go to the integration tab in the product, and you can see we have this ServiceNow Easy Wizard already pre-installed in the product. So if you want to add your instance, you simply click on the plus button. You simply give your instance name, which ServiceNow has provided to you. Now for this demo, let's use one test instance name. So let's call it ServiceNow test 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you give your key expiry after period. So this by default it is 2 days, but you can change it as per your needs. So the main idea behind this key expiry time is, say for example, if there is a large disaster and the service and Fortanix service goes down for say some milliseconds or so, which it normally doesn't, but just in case of a disaster, But so in that case, your service will still be applicable, your service will still be available, and your data will still remain encrypted as long as your key expiry time is valid. So practically speaking, you have close to like 100% HA because of this feature. So your actual encryption service never goes down. So you just give your say, let's keep it 2 days for the demo, and you just simply save it. That's it. So you have the new service instance created instantly. So it just took me like less than 30 seconds to create the integration. And for the demo, we already have some active ServiceNow instances, namely when 04812 and 4813, and that's it. You can see all your ServiceNow active integrations in this under this tab. If you go to view all, you can see here all these three instances are active.
So Nishant, once the customer has initiated this ServiceNow instance on our side, what do they do on the ServiceNow side?
So on the ServiceNow side, once you created the instance, you simply go to ServiceNow support team, and you just send them your CCS endpoint. So your endpoint is basically in this format. So you can visit our support website, Fortanix support website, and search for ServiceNow. You have all the steps which I mentioned here. You have everything documented here. The final step is basically you send this endpoint, that is HTTPS servicenow.fortanix.com/kek/instance name. So instance name in this case would be servicenow_test12345 /1. So 1 is basically your key version. And you just send this endpoint to ServiceNow support team, and they will just verify it and check if everything is done correctly, and that's it. You should have this integration enabled. So now to check what is happening behind the integration, what is actually happening is a key has been created. And so this is basically a customer managed key, which you would use to encrypt your ServiceNow database. So as you can see, automatically a key named say SNKEK ServiceNow test 123456 has been created. The key would be named as per your instance name. So you can see this is the key. You can view the entire key operation with the key has been permitted. You can edit some of the permissions as you like. It's very intuitive to do through the UI. You can delete the key, you can destroy the key, you can also enable or disable the key. So it's very easy to do it through the UI.
And this is what we're discussing, where customer can quickly turn off the key, and once they turn off the key, what happens inside of ServiceNow?
That is correct. So you can either enable it from here, or another way to turn off the key is, as we call it, as a customer control switch. So basically, customer has the control of the keys. You can just go to your ServiceNow instance. Say, for example, in this case, let's go to this instance which we created. You can edit the instance, and you can simply change the key expiry date from 2 days to say 0 or any negative value. So as soon as you do that, your integration would instantly be killed, and your database would be protected, and your integration between Fortanix and ServiceNow would be killed. So that means so this scenario is possible in case there is a key compromise. You say that you think that some hacker hacked into your key, or any internal employee has access to your keys. In that case, you simply have to break the ServiceNow. So that's basically the customer control switch we were talking about. And once you have the integration successfully completed, you can see the audit logs within Fortanix DSM. So like I mentioned earlier, the ServiceNow makes the call to Fortanix DSM every 15 minutes, right? So you can see every 15 minutes you have a bunch of audit logs generated for your integration. Now, let's say in this case, say we had when 04813 instance already configured. So as you can see, the last audit log that was generated was at 9:24. So the next audit log would be at around 9:39 a.m. So as you can see, they're like consistently all the audit logs have been are generated every 15 minutes. So
And this is, Nishant, if I can just chime in, this is very important from a compliance, audit and compliance perspective. This question comes up all the time because if and when customers, if they have an incident where if they feel that there was some data compromise and they use our solution to turn off that compromise, and then in many cases they have to get this compliance data and many times shared with the board or with the various teams. This data is available out of the platform that can be leveraged. So you'll have full auditability of what happened, when it happened, when the data was, and the keys were either disabled or revoked, etc. So all of this is available, and there's full auditability for that ServiceNow instance.
Yep. And so these are the overall audit logs you can see. But if you want to say, if you want to see only the audit logs for the particular key, you can see it here. So if you click on the key, you have the audit logs here. So like for example, we just created this new key through our easy wizard, and you can see user Nishank Vash created this particular key. So everything is logged here.
Excellent.